Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, October 23rd. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names on our watch list. Typically includes stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their moves. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily, curating ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we got 5 names we're looking at today, 3 from IBD's list, 2 from our watch list, and we're going to kick things off with HEI. This one comes from IBD's list, and this one has pulled back now. It is approximately 20% off of the highs. If we zoom out here, you can see it's had a very strong 2019, and really the past several years has all been strong here for HEI. What I like about this pattern here, this is more of a kind of a steeper reversal pullback pattern, but we have this almost, if you're familiar with sort of that 3 drive pattern to the downside. It's not precise here, but basically you have a strong initial impulse leg lower. You can see that met with high volume, and then you essentially have sort of diminishing legs lower, lighter volume throughout, and sort of a less steep slope on the sell-off, more gradual sort of sell-off, which basically says the selling is sort of has the peak intensity has passed, and we're starting to get a little more gradual here. And of course, while this is happening, we've got some nice strong kind of momentum divergence going on here, signified by the MACD on the top pane of my chart. So HEI, I like it here. I mean, still needs to prove itself, still needs to show more signs of reversing and stabilization, but it's something that would have my eye here after 20% pullback off of its highs. Next up is JCOM. We talked about this one, I believe, a few weeks back as a breakout pattern. That breakout has happened, and now you can see it is really kind of checking back here and potentially flagging out, or it might even go on to just fully retest that breakout. So if you missed the breakout, you may get some opportunity here if this looks interesting to you. Again, if we zoom out here, you can see just how big and critical this multi-year breakout was just a few weeks ago. This is in the software tech space, which has been under pressure, but of course for JCOM here, it is really kind of ignoring that pressure and sort of doing its own thing. The one caveat here is it does have earnings coming up, so you have to keep that one. You have to keep that event catalyst in mind. INMD, this is one from IBD's IPO list, and this one here has just continued to shape up and consolidate and break out. We've talked about this one a few times in the past. It's back to making new highs here. You can see heavy volume breakout occurred yesterday to new all-time highs. We're getting follow through, MACD trying to lead higher here, so finding some momentum in a young issue. So if this is your style, typically this is IPOs that have only traded a couple of months of history. I typically do not trade until there's a little more history out there, but I know traders that really like to trade that first 30, 60, 90-day window, and this is one that continues to show momentum and hold up. So next 2 come from our watch list. First is SEDG. This one here is a solar play. It's been working all year long. It's up big already, and no surprise here, but it is starting or attempting to break back out. It's put in this consolidation for the past summertime months or so, three months. It's been moving sideways around underneath this $90 and call it 50-cent level, $91 level, and it is attacking that now. It does have earnings in early November, so you do have to keep that on the radar. But if you're like strength here, if you're looking for potential momentum plays over highs, SEDG, one of the best out there right now in terms of that pattern. Last but not least is a index I don't typically pay all that much attention to. It doesn't get my attention often, but this is a notable sort of compression here in volatility. We're getting lower highs and higher lows out of the junior gold miners. You could look at the GDX as well, but I think the pattern here is a little more tight. And if we're looking at just what gold has done recently, you can see that has really gone sideways and just meandering, very lackluster there. And if we're expecting some volatility expansion here, particularly if you zoom out here and you look at just this big run up that it had in June, July, and August, it has been consolidating that sort of nicely here over the past month or two. And it's something I would just at least be paying attention to, especially if you like this space. It's been compressing here. Let's see if it starts to wake up, a surge in volume, a break of one of the trend lines, a cluster of recent highs. I think those are all clues we can start looking at here. On the upside, be around 37.50. On the downside, if we start to accelerate lower, that's of course a possible scenario. I would like to ideally trade this pattern in the direction of the primary trend that kicked off in June. So ideally, it would come with an upside breakout, but again, we'll have to see which way this ends up resolving. For now, just something to pay attention to. So that's it. 5 names, all with pretty different looks there. I think we're hitting a lot of different types of trading styles, so hopefully something there is interesting. Again, do your homework, check those earnings dates, and again, thanks as always for tuning in and watching. Every Wednesday, trade idea videos just like this. We'll be back here on Friday for our market recap video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to stay up to date with these videos, or check us out at thetraderisk.com. Have a great rest of your day.